Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey, Susanta, how are you, man? Can you help me out a little bit here? I'm just trying to see if the audio is working, if the music is okay. Hello, Adil. How are you? No Phonex. Hi, guys. Welcome. Yes. Okay, it's working. Perfect. Perfect. That's great. Is the music too loud or is it good? Good. Cool, 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 cool. All good. Perfect. Yo, Berg, how are you, man? Welcome. Contra Norm. Your name is has a lot of symbols. That's interesting. So, how is everyone doing? Good morning. If you're on my side of the planet, good night or good evening if you're on the other side of the planet. I've always find it, I've mentioned this before, but it's so amazing that we can have this like conversation even if we're like really, really, really far apart. So I'm doing good, Bert, or Burke, sorry. I'm getting everything started. We got what's the word? I just opened the studio for my team, for my crew. We're getting ready to start the week. Just bring this down here. Give me 1 second. I got the light off here. It's really weird. It gives me a really ugly reflection on my tablet. So today, guys, other than answering questions and just hanging out here with you, we are gonna be doing an exercise. Well, it's not an exercise. It's part of the job, actually. I need to do something for a project that we're working on, and I'm just gonna guide you through the process. Like, how would I tackle an asset that's for a job, right? So we are doing an experience. Some of you guys know that we have what's the word? We have a special alliance with a very famous museum here in the city, and we provide VR experiences for this museum. So we've been working on a new experience that's going to be released on the Holy Week here in Mexico. The Holy Week, like the Catholic Christian Holy Week, is really, really important because everyone gets vacations and there's a lot of movement, right? So we're going to be releasing this new experience for that specific one. Let me see if I can give you a sneak peek of what we're doing. We're going to be doing an experience like that has to do with the desert. So it's going to be like a magical, mystical sort of like experience, and we're doing the environments and everything. So yeah, for instance, I can show you this. I don't think it's I don't think that's a problem. So this is one of the stones that we're doing for a cave that we're going to be building, and I need to do a tree. I need to do like a branching, like dead tree, stylized dead tree that's going to be on a cave that we're going to be using, because there's going to be an eagle, and that eagle is going to be sitting on the tree. So if or whenever we're like challenged with doing something, I think the most important thing that we can all do is to look for a reference. So I'm going to look for stylized tree. You're going to see that we have a lot of really cool stuff right here. So I think we're going to go for something like this, but we're not going to have any branches or any leaves. It's going to be a dry tree. So we're going to be doing that, something like that. Ooh, this is very, very cute. This is really cool. Of course, we could just buy the tree, but I want to show you how I would do something like this even. And we're gonna be doing this inside of ZBrush, okay? I think this is great, actually, something like this. So we're gonna use this as a reference. Let's go to pure ref. Adil Jala says, I want to learn how to grid images on. What do you mean by that? How to place an image on a grid inside of Maya or inside of Blender? I can help you with that, no problem. We can do that before we jump onto the tree. As for Burke, it says, what did you suggest about VR games or commercial stuff? About how many polygons? Oh, it needs to be really low poly, like a really low poly. Well, it depends on what the like headset you're using for your VR projects. So we're using the Oculus Rifts. This is the controller for the Oculus Rift. Looks like a damaged controller, but for the Oculus Rift, it's pretty much like if you had a cell phone on your head. It's using Android, so it's not as powerful as a PC or as an Xbox or as a PlayStation. So the amount of polygons, the amount of textures, like everything has to be really, really, really optimized. That's actually one of the like issues we have found in this last couple of years working with that architecture. But the advantage of doing it with Oculus Rift is the fact that you don't need a computer. Like everything happens on the headset. However, if you're doing a VR experience where you can use like a heavy machine, or you're expecting people to have a machine with like an HTC Vive or something, or even with the Oculus Rift but with a connection, then you can bring things up. Pradeep, how are you, my friend? Glad to see you back. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, you've been missing. We've missed you, man. So, Adil, we're gonna answer Adil's questions real quickly. He wants to know, how do we place an image right here? Okay, let's imagine we're gonna be... actually, let's do it. Let's do this. Since we're gonna be doing this tree, I'm gonna show you how we could start this tree inside of Maya and then bring it into ZBrush, okay? So I'm gonna save this image and I'm gonna bring this into the desktop right there. So how do I get this into the grid? Very easy. We go spacebar, Maya, front view. That's gonna give us into the front view, or however you wanna jump. Some people like to press the spacebar and then just jump to the camera that you're using. I'm gonna go to front view. And now that we're here in front view, I'm gonna go to view, image plane, import image. And if we go to desktop and we look for our like image and we just hit open, there we go. That's it. Now this image lives here inside of Maya as an image plane, and we can position it where we want, which is probably going to be like right around there, and we can move it around. Is this what you meant, Adil? Does this answer your question? So while we wait for an answer there, NoFonex says, Joe, I really would like to see like a realistic Pokemon creation and put it in real life footage, or like replace objects in real life footage. Oh yeah, I did something similar to that a couple of years ago. But I'll add that to the list. We'll do that. We'll do an integration. Pizza says, Sir Abraham, I want to take advantage of 90 discount on Nextut course. What course would you recommend for 3D hard surface? Character artist for games workflow? Ooh, that's a great question. So for those of you that are unaware, right now there is a 90% discount going on Udemy. It's going to be available for the next 5 days. It may vary based on your location, so be careful there. But I think, for instance, if I grab any of these courses and I apply the code that's on yesterday's video, I'm going to get the 90% discount. So if you're a beginner artist for hard surface modeling, I think this one right here is really, really good, because I go over a lot of the principles that you need to like learn in order to do hard surface stuff. But if you're a character, I think this one is really important, the hard surface sculpting for beginners. And the reason why I think this is quite handy is because most of the times for character artists, you're going to be retopologizing your hard surface, so you can learn quite a bit of techniques with this one right here. Yeah, I think those would be the ones that I would recommend for hard surface stuff. Check OBS. Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. Okay, give me 1 second. Yeah, I changed the setup and I forget that I have the scenes set up differently. Okay, let me go back here. So let me repeat that real quick. For hard surface stuff, I recommend this one, the hard surface modeling in Maya 2022 and the hard surface sculpting for beginners. Those two are really good to start. But to be honest, I'm not super good at hard surface modeling. There's other people out there that are a little bit, well, not a little bit, quite a bit better than me. So for starters, I think these are great starting points, but then you probably want to specialize with some other Yeah, sorry about that. Let me do the Maya thing again. So inside of Maya, to bring an image plane, very easy. Just spacebar, Maya, and we go to front view. You click on Maya and you go to front view, or you switch to front view, however you can. And once you have this, you go view, image plane, import image. And then you select the image that you're going to be working with. Which in this case is this one right here. That way, this image is now on the grid, and we can position it where we want. We can move it. It's an object, and we can utilize it whatever thing you have. Yeah, Dots Elemensa, he's a great artist. Elemensa is a really great artist for hard surface as well. There we go. So yep, there's some great suggestions there on the chat as well for hard surface. I'm a little bit more of an organic guy myself, to be honest, but I am preparing a hard surface course for Maya after the one that I'm working on right now. I'm finishing the character texturing course, and then after that one, we're working on a Maya hard surface modeling, which is gonna be a little bit more intermediate. It's gonna be quite cool. I don't want to spoil anything, but that's the next one. So yeah, now how would I go about creating a base mesh for this thing right here? To be honest, I think the easiest one would be to use curves. And the curves are really handy because you can move them in space and do interesting things. So I'm gonna go here to create curve tools. I'm going to create an EP curve, and I'm going to start at the base, and I don't need to follow the concept perfectly. I just want to get like a general like idea of how it works, something like this. And as you can see, that will be like the main trunk, right? Now we do have a tool here inside of Maya that's really handy, which is the sweep mesh tool, which is this one right here, which will create, as you can see right there, a sweep mesh. And there's a couple of things we can do here. We can taper this, and we can change the scale profile. Look at that. So very easily we can create the base mesh for our tree, which will be like this. And it even has like a good amount of polygons. Like this amount of polygons, it's perfectly good for what we're going for. We can go to the curve, and if we grab the control vertex, we can even grab the these points right here and rotate them or move them around, and that's going to slightly change the form of our tree like that. I think that's that looks good. Let's see what we got here. Marco, another suggestion there for hard surface. I haven't heard about that guy. I've heard about the Elemensa, but not a lot about Marco. So I'm gonna go back to the front view here, and now we're gonna draw a couple more curves. So I'm gonna go create or select. That was like the main trunk, right? Like now let's make the main branches. I'm gonna go create curve tools, EP curve, and I'm gonna draw a couple of curves. I'm gonna press G to repeat the action. Try to draw them as clean as possible, like that. Now the problem here is, as you can see, these guys are like in a weird position. So I'm gonna rotate them around, move them around to create a more interesting perspective for the branches, like this. Because usually a tree, the branches will kind of like fan out in different directions, right? And one of the things that I love about the sweep mesh is that you can now select multiple elements, do the sweep mesh, and whatever you do to that specific sweep mesh is going to apply to all of them at the same time. So it's very useful. Look at that. We already have like a really nice, tree thingy working. Of course, I'm gonna go to some of these curves right here. I'll answer the questions in just a second. I'm gonna move these curves in so that we don't get any overlap. And this is gonna be the base mesh that we're gonna be using to sculpt, because I do want to sculpt more details on the tree, so it looks a little bit more interesting. There we go. So we got the main trunk, we got secondary branches, and now we're gonna go for tertiary branches. But let's answer some questions real quick. Keos Masons on YouTube, they are beasts or hard surface. I'll definitely take a look at that. Yeah, you can also use a speed tree. That's right, Ravi. That's a great option. You can also use a speed tree. Burke, I think for cinematic characters, the most ambitious cinematic character I've done is this one right here, the advanced ZBrush character creation, because it has a lot of pieces. It's like 75 different pieces, and I'm working on the, again, as I was mentioning, on the texturing right now on this guy, and on the final part of the texturing, and this guy is just amazing. So we're gonna be using not UDIMs, but it's gonna be quite heavy on the surface. I think that's the most cinematic one. Of course, the ZBrush character likeness is an amazing course. This is one of our best sellers as well. This one, the lightning masterclass, is really important for the setup, because you might have a great looking character, but if you don't know how to render, then you might have some issues there. I think that's it. I haven't really done a lot of cinematic stuff. I do more games, to be honest, but those are good assets, I think. Let's go back to the tree here, and let's just add the small branches now. So I'm gonna go create, again, curve tools, EP curve, and we're gonna create like the small branches. The eagle is going to be standing on this branch right here, so that's why I don't want to add a lot of geometry or polygons. I want to keep it kind of simple so that we can frame the eagle a little bit better. It's always important to play around with stuff and try to find, again, the proper like placement for elements, because I'm thinking that when the user sees this tree, he's gonna see this sort of like interaction. So that's when I want to keep it really clean on this side, so that the eagle, which is gonna be sitting on this part right here, is very visible. We don't want to be covering it with branches or anything. It's the kind of stuff that you don't learn as much in tutorials and stuff, because it's more about production. So the more experience you have with production, the more you're going to be able to understand this sort of stuff. This one I'm going to center the pivot point and just scale it a little bit in. Center the pivot point on this one and just rotate it a little bit. Again, we want certain branches to go to different like perspectives. That's one of the great things that we can do here with 3D. There we go. So now we just grab all of these guys. All of the new ones, of course, not the old ones. And we have done their sweep mesh. It's going to be the final sweep mesh. The scale profile is going to be really small. We can add a little bit more precision so that it follows the things a little bit better. We're, of course, going to taper. And look at that. We get this very nice looking tree. A base mesh, of course, right? For the tree. Now, there might be a couple of curves like this guy right here that we need to push in so that we get a proper overlap. But yeah, not bad, right? Not bad for like 10-15 minutes to do this. Okay, let's keep going. So now we need to bring this into ZBrush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go select all by type a geometry. So we select all of the geometry pieces and not the curves. And I'm going to combine all of them into a single mesh. I'm going to say File, Export Selection. And just to be a little bit fast here, I'm going to export this to the desktop. And now let's jump into ZBrush. And let me change scenes. There we go. We got ZBrush down here. I'm gonna say import. And we're gonna go to the desktop and we're gonna import our tree base mesh. There we go. Of course, this tree mesh is not symmetrical, which is fine. The good thing is that we actually do have subdivision. So if I press Ctrl D, as you can see, we're going to be like smoothing it out. But I kind of want to keep a little bit of that like hardness to it because the game is supposed to be a little bit stylized. So I'm going to go to Subtool. Here's a nice little trick. I'm going to go to Geometry rather, and I'm going to divide, but I'm going to remove the smooth division. So I'm going to divide once, and then I'm going to turn on the smooth division. And what that will do, as you can see right there, it keeps like a... It's kind of like doing a bevel, like small little bevel, like a very soft bevel on the whole thing. Then I'm definitely going to be using Dynamesh, or actually, do we need Dynamesh? No, I don't think we need Dynamesh, to be honest. I think with just like normal divisions, we can get this to work properly. Is Sweep Mesh a plugin? No, Dark Phoenix. Sweep Mesh is not a plugin, but it is a new tool that was added to Maya in 2022. So if you have 2022 or 2023, you should have access to the Sweep Mesh. Oh, I understand, Berg. So my suggestion for doing retopology is if the character is really, really, really heavy, remember that you can do a really heavy like a dynamic or decimation. As long as you don't lose the silhouette, you can have really low meshes, and then you export the one that you're going to use for the bakes later on. That's usually the way we work, because yeah, Maya can't handle so many polygons. And the cloth, if you're gonna be simulating the cloth, you might want to do the retopology of the body first, and then use that body inside of Marvelous Designer, for instance, to generate like more realistic cloth. Otherwise, you're probably gonna have to do retopology for the cloth, and that's a pain. It's really, really difficult. It is not necessary to do a watertight mesh. They can be separate objects. That's fine. Looks like the new MLK statue. I saw it. I did saw the statue. It's really something. No, we don't need a boolean for this one. All of these guys are like clean meshes, so we don't need to do that. Let me just fix my working area. There we go. So now that we have this, we can start sculpting. I'm gonna use clay buildup, as you guys know I love it. So I'm just gonna go with really big strokes first, and this is gonna be creating like the main shapes of the trunk. And then usually when the trunk is like moving upwards, you'll sometimes get like the knots, right? So let's add like one like knot there on the element, and of course we're gonna be smoothing. So one of the things that I love about the clay buildup is that it allows you to build form really, really quickly. So you don't need to do that many like lines or stuff. You can just like very quickly build this sort of stuff. The bad side is that it does leave that sort of like marks, like brush strokes. So it's very important that we smooth it. How do you change the UI color in ZBrush? Excellent question. Super easy. Preferences, and then you go here to interface, or sorry, custom. No, where is it? Colors, eye colors, interface colors, and the switch 1, switch 2, knob 1, and knob 2 are the ones that you usually want to change. You can just click and select like a different color. Like we can go for that, like orange. Preferences, and then we'll just like sample that, and that way we change colors. It's again really not that that difficult. It doesn't change anything. Like it doesn't make you a better sculptor or anything. It just looks cooler. It looks like you're pro because you're using a different color interface. Pizza says that Bifrost needs more love than geometry nodes. Yeah, I agree. But Bifrost is tricky, man. I've been learning Bifrost for the past couple of months, and poof, it's a whole beast. Like it's a whole nother beast. But yeah, we're gonna have that. We're gonna have a little bit more of that. Don't worry. The thing with Bifrost is that it's a very cool like piece of software or plugin or however you want to call it, but not a lot of people are interested in learning it. That's why you don't see a lot of tutorials or a lot of content about like dynamics and stuff, because it's not as wanted, right? At the end of the day, all of the things that we do here in 3D, they follow the same sort of like offer and demand thing. So if a lot of people want to be character artists, that's why you're gonna see a lot of character tutorials. If people want to be, that's why you don't see a lot of rigging tutorials or a lot of even animation tutorials. I feel like there are not as many out there. You're welcome, Eddie Cat. You are welcome. Yeah, changing interface, I think it's a good idea to feel a little bit more comfortable on your what's the word? On ZBrush. Like it doesn't change much. I have a lot of like icons and stuff up here, but I don't change a lot of like shortcuts and other elements. I try to keep things a little bit cleaner. I've been using I have been using tablets for a long time. This is the first. I've been using a pen display for like a year only, so I'm still super used to working with a keyboard. I wish I could show you my setup right now, but my keyboard is down here, and then my tablet is up here. So right now I'm doing this. Like my hand is with the keyboard on this side, and then the tablet is on the upper side. Let's do another like knot over here. Again, I'm thinking about how far this thing is going to be from the camera, how far is it going to be from the user, and I know they're probably going to be seeing it at roughly this distance right here. So that's I like to call this the level of detail that I want them to be focusing on. So sometimes when working in production, we get a little bit too concerned about the amount of detail that we should add certain things. And the thing's gonna be really far away, so you're not even gonna see it as much. So don't overthink things. If this was a portfolio piece, then yes, of course, I would do this super clean from everywhere, because people are gonna be watching it from every single position and angle. But again, since this is production, I know where this thing is gonna be visible at. Like I know how much of this we're gonna be able to see, and therefore I know how much detail I can really add or not. Which tablet for sculpting and in a budget? Ooh, that's a great question. So if you had asked me that question like 3 years ago, I would always have gone for the Wacom Intuos, which was like the go-to tablet. This one right here. This is the main Wacom tablet that I used for a long time when I was a student. It's really affordable. This is pesos, Mexican pesos, so it should be about $60 probably, like a game. So if you're, instead of buying a game, you can buy something for your work, which is gonna later on allow you to buy more games. So yeah, this is the one that I would suggest, the Wacom. However, nowadays there are some other brands, and the one that I'm using right now is the Huion brand. And it's really good. Like I really like the Huion brand. It's a little bit cheaper, and it's just a little bit better. So for instance, you can get for a very similar price, like this would be like $80, so like $20 more, this tablet, which is a little bit bigger, and bigger tablets are a little bit more comfortable. So this might be a good idea. And if you can afford it, the pen displays are really cool, to be honest. Like this guys right here, they're really cool. As you can see, this one is $239. So it's, of course, a little bit more expensive. It's pretty much like a screen, but it's really handy. I personally have this one right here. Yeah, I think this one is like 16 inches. So it's a little bit bigger. But oh my God, I always forget about the freaking, sorry. There we go. My bad. So, I was saying, yeah, there we go. Sorry, Cobra. I know. Give me 1 second. With this new setup, see, I'm getting confused on when I need to switch screens and stuff. So yeah, I was saying the Wacom Intuos is the go-to for my students, because it's cheap, it's a good brand, you know that you're gonna get a good quality product, but it's a very simple one. It's very small, and you kind of like outgrow it very easily. Then Huion has this tablet right here, which is a little bit bigger. It's a little bit more pricier, like $20 or $30 pricier, but it's a little bit more comfortable as well. So I would recommend that one. And if you can afford it, going for a pen display is also really good, especially if you're gonna be doing a little bit of concept or hand painted stuff. This could also be a really good option. Pizza says, my friend, a Blender dude, keeps making fun of me for selling my kidney for Maya, but couldn't understand Bifrost. Yeah, that, I mean, we've had this debate many times about whether Maya or Blender is better than the other. Both tools, like, provide a specific type of advantage. Of course, Blender being free is a huge selling point. I don't think Maya is that expensive for what you can charge for the work that you can do with it. So just to give you guys an example, if I'm doing an ad for a company, like a 10-second ad for a local company, it doesn't even need to be like a super high company or super big company, just a local company, and you can sell that ad for like easily like at least $800. And with those $800, you take like 2 or 3 weeks doing the ad, and that pretty much pays for itself. So I think you can justify the Maya price, especially for indie, if you can get those sort of like contracts. But they're both great softwares. I use both of them. I used to be an only Maya like user, but I've been using Blender for the past like year and a half, and it's great. I actually was able to do the transition fairly easily. It wasn't that difficult, to be honest. It was just about learning the workflow there, and it does have some things that I really like. I think the modeling even inside of Blender might be stronger than inside of Maya, but Maya definitely wins in rigging and in animation, I think. Hey Roma, how are you? Yeah, you can use Maya student version for free if you can get the student version. You only need an educational email. You can get those like fairly easy, to be honest. As long as it says .edu, you should be able to get Maya student version. Of course, the license says that you should only use it for studying, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people that might not only use it for that. And you'll be surprised about how I always have. I've been always trying to keep my licenses on. I subscribe and desubscribe to stuff when I don't need it, because I just like to play clean. But here in Mexico, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't play clean. They kind of abuse that system. But yeah, you can get my student version. I'm really looking for pen tool in Substance Painter. Any idea how to make with the help of coding or another stuff? Is this possible? Pen tool? You mean like opacity and stuff? There is opacity. That's a great question. Let me show you real quick. We're doing good, Roma. We're doing a tree that I'm going to be using for one of our projects, actually. Oh, there's new stuff. Interesting. Oh, that's great. Okay, that's really good. Okay, that's actually good as well. Ooh, it's not bad. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna have to take a look at this. I didn't know that there was an update. So let me open like one of the sample files. Let's go for like the JToth. So there we go. Let's say I want to paint like a red paint on this JToth. If I add a fill layer, or not, sorry, not a fill layer, a paint layer, down here I select the color, and up here there's this option on the size, which is pen pressure, and on the flow, which right now has no pen pressure. If I turn this on as well, you're gonna see that we can get this to work. Give me just 1 second. I'm gonna move the screens. There we go. So if I do very intense color, you can see that it goes like complete red. And if I go a little bit softer, I can change the size and the intensity. I'm gonna get rid of the size. So the size is very obvious. And you can see how I can blend in a little bit of the elements. So if you're doing like hand painted stuff, you can also do this like here. Yes, you're gonna have to go over here to the color and then change the color. So let's say we want to go a little bit darker, so I'm gonna have to go dark, but then I can just like blend in the effect. I think that's what you mean. So there we go. GM Vanessa, terrible stream, to be honest. Oh, well, that's your opinion. I think everyone else is enjoying it. Well, ultimately, it comes down to personal preference. I'm a high DPI guy, so I don't move my hair around much. So smart tabs are go for to me. Yeah, that's definitely true, Dark Phoenix. Some people like small tabs or smaller tablets because of the movement, how big you want your movements to be, and some people might want them to be like a little bit smaller, bigger. I personally prefer bigger, just for the screen space and the control, I would say. But yeah, it's totally preference. It also depends on the space. For instance, on school, we have these big tables, so if everyone brought their pen displays, it would be impossible to work. We wouldn't fit. But in this case, or for this ones, we're having or in my case right here, it works perfectly fine. 3D Learner says, is it possible to become a 3D modeling expert in 2 months? No. Nope. It's not possible. You can become a proficient 3D modeler in 2 months, but an expert? Now, there's usually this saying that says you need to spend at least 10,000 hours to become a master at something. So, in my personal experience, to become a professional, you might need at least 2 years. Depends on your learning process and your learning speed, but at least 2 years in my experience is what you might need to become a really good 3D artist, or a professional 3D artist, someone that can get a job easily and can hold it and stuff. So it'll depend. For me, when I don't consider myself to be a master. I would consider myself to be like a senior 3D artist, and I started considering myself a senior after about 7 years of experience, I would say. Will you upload it after? That's a great question. So I don't know why is it so so confusing about the live streams, but let me show you one thing here. Give me 1 second. So if you navigate to the Nextut channel, I know it's a couple of extra clicks, but if you go to the Nextut channel and you go here to the live section, all of our lives are right here, okay? All of the ones that I've done ever since we started. I think this was the first one that we did, the end of the year live stream. But all of the live streams are right here. So last week's live stream, which was, where is it? I don't see it. Should be right around here. I think it was this one. We did like a water well. It's right here, and this one will be right here as well. So all of the lives are here. They're just in a separate section to the videos because we want to keep videos organized. So that's why they're on a different section. Oh my god! And again, I didn't show the screen. I think I'm gonna go back to my old stuff. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Give me 1 second. So again, if we go to YouTube and you navigate to our channel, you click on our channel, like on your subscriptions, you click right there and you go to live, you're gonna see the lives right here, okay? All of them, including today's live, it's gonna be right there. Let's go back to the tablet. There we go. Let's see. Do you have an offline school? It's not my school. I teach at a local university here in Mexico. It's called Universidad Carolina. They have a special program called Technological Creativity. And one of the main things that they learn throughout that special curriculum is 3D. I'm like the head 3D instructor right there. There's a couple of other people that help me, but I'm the main guy over there. So it's an in-person school, that one. I'm gonna use Trim Dynamic here to flatten some stuff and give it a more like stylized look. And we're gonna take this into Substance Painter in just a second because I wanna texture it already. And it's gonna be a fairly easy texture. Now, I think this mesh right there, that little like branch, this guy, it's getting destroyed. So I'm gonna press auto groups for poly groups. Select that guy right there and delete. I'm gonna say delete hidden. So that guy is now gone. We don't need him. Do you have any tutorials about VFX in Maya? I would buy it. No, but it's on this year. We're gonna be working on that for this year. Roma, sorry. We're gonna be doing that. 3D Learner, it's increasing yesterday. Can 3D modelers demand is increasing? Yeah, it's definitely increasing. Like I've always said that 3D is like a language. So if you know how to speak this language, you can get some really cool like jobs and stuff. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go down to probably this subdivision level right here. I don't think we need to go lower. I think this subdivision level right there might be the one. And this is gonna be the new low poly of our element. So we're gonna export this up here. And again, let's just go to the desktop. I'm just gonna create a new folder called tree. FBX, of course, and we'll call this 3_low. And then I'm gonna subdivide all the way up, and this is gonna be my 3_high. So export tree _high. Pablota says, "Great stream, to be honest." Thank you, man. Thank you. We've been getting a couple more haters this past couple of months. I think it's like the more people that see the channel, the more chances there are that there's gonna be like a hater and stuff. So that's a completely different thing. That's an archivist industry, but I mean, yes, it's an archivist industry, 3D, but it's still like like you can still make money there. Like, even if you're not an architect, you can still do things for architects, and they'll pay you, because most architects are focusing on other things and not on the 3D stuff. So for instance, here in Mexico, one of the big issues that architects have is that they are really bad with the renders. Like, the renders that they do are really horrible. What the hell happened here? Oh, I know what happened here. You can't have two objects with the same name on Maya. So it got updated. There we go. And let's call this low. And now let's bring the 3 high. So I think, okay, perfect. So they're both where they're supposed to be. Now this one, the only thing I need to do with this one is I need to, first of all, get UVs, because I don't think we have UVs. We might have though. Oh, we do have. Nice. Let's just do Control U and Control L. Okay, those are not the greatest UVs, but it will work. Let's give it a shot. So let's say File, Export Selection. And let's export this on our desktop. Tree. Where's my tree? The hell? Oh, it's just called new folder. Okay, let's call this a slow export selection. There we go. Okay, now let's go to Substance Painter. There we go. Can you suggest some tips to sculpt metal parts? It depends. If it's a sculpting, then booleans are usually the way to go instead of ZBrush. But the downside to that is that you're gonna have to do retopology, which is really annoying. Other than that, try to keep your edges clean, and bevels are gonna be your friends. That would be my suggestion. I joined your works. Thank you, Colin. Oh, you would like to join my work, so my studio. Oh, I would love to give you guys, every one of you, a spot at my studio, but unfortunately we're full. We're already full. We have 4 people working and 2 people doing their like university practices and stuff. So we've got it covered, I'm afraid. 3D Learner, is there any plan for female character tutorial? I did a female character tutorial. It was the 3D printing guide. If you take a look at the 3D printing guide, I would say like 80% of that course is about female sculpting and modeling. So you might want to check that one out. And then the last like 20% it's about the 3D printing process. Ooh, the bake is so different now. The hell? Interesting. Okay, that's really interesting. I'm gonna have to take a deep dive into this tools because this is really a little bit more advanced. Okay, let's bake. Okay, how do we get out of this? Return to painting mode. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this works. Huh. That's really weird. Okay. Let's take a look. Abraham, I have one question. That is, we need to develop our own house design. I then convert it into a 3D house for client. Provide everything and we just need to convert or model in 3D. Oh, I don't understand the question. If you could split it into a couple of parts, that might be a little bit easier for me to understand. Usually when an architect tells me that they need their house to be like previewed or something, they'll give me the like the planes, all of the measurements, and then I build that inside of Maya or Blender or whatever, and then I render it, or I give him renders. That's what I usually do. And they use those renders just to get an idea of how it's gonna look. It's not gonna be as exact, but it's gonna be an idea. Hey Ariane, I'm doing great, my friend. Congratulations on your portfolio, by the way. It was great this weekend. How to match the scale of two UV shells in different UV tiles in UDIMs? Oh, that's a tricky one. I don't think we're gonna have time to cover UDIMs today, but I'll add that into the list. Magic, yeah, this is the bake that we have right here. That's a great question. This is version 8.3.0. It was released, I guess, in the last couple of days, because I haven't seen it, to be honest. It's relatively new. I am subscribed to the Substance Painter thing, so I get the updates as they come along. How long did it take you to get your whole business up and running? Ooh, so I started my academy. I had an academy. It's gone now, but I had an academy in 2015. I started it, and then we went down on 2020 due to COVID. We had to close and sell everything because the debts were really high. But it took me like a couple of years to like really get it going. Like 2015, 2016 were really slow years. But after that, thanks to like hard work and dedication, we were getting better clients and better stuff. So it was like 2 years to get it running. Then before the pandemic, I associated myself with my current partner, and we created this new studio called Hyperlab, which is the one that we're using to create all of this like VR experiences and stuff. And again, the pandemic hit. We pretty much like did nothing throughout the pandemic in regards to that business. And this year, last year, starting in January last year, we started again with the whole process. So yeah, it takes time. It's not from one day to another. And I think if I could give myself an advice when I was younger, that would be one of them. Is like, be patient. It takes time. As long as you're doing what you can every single day, you are gonna be moving towards the goal, but it takes time. So I'm gonna go here to 3D assets just to speed things a little bit. I'm gonna look for stylized wood. I want to look for some stylized wood. There has to be something. That's a stylized wood beam that could work. Let's look for stylized wood. There we go. Stylized wood barrier. 3D assets, it's a great tool, to be honest. Trunk for wood. Stylized bricks, stylized stalactite. I could even use that one, to be honest. I'm wondering if there's like bark. We have like bark. There are some like realistic barks, but I want stylized bark. This one looks really cool though. I think we can combine this one, so I'm gonna download it. And we're gonna combine it with some sort of like stylized, and I'll show you how I'm gonna do that. So remember how in this, guys, we had some interesting like wood ones that were giving some interesting colors, like this one right here. Stylized wood barrier. Looks interesting. Let's download it. So when you are using one of these assets, you just drag and drop it here. You decide whether you want to import it to your library or just to the session, and we use it. But what's the best way to earn money as a 3D artist? I'm from a village, freelancing or job. If you're from a village, which I would like to, I imagine you mean that there's not a big industry where you're from, then freelancing is probably going to be your best bet, unless you want to move. If you move to a big city or to somewhere that has a bigger industry, then you can just work for a studio. But if you can't move or you won't move, then freelancing is probably the way to go. Right hand Fitra asks, hello, when will your contest video be uploaded? We're gonna be working on the little dude on the reindeer for tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be an update on my creature, but you guys should be working on your creatures. The submission for that contest is on the end of February. Yes, this is the new update on Substance that you can also bake mesh, Burhanuddin. Can you please make a course on how to create 3D VR experiences as a 3D artist? That's a good idea. I think we can do that. Except tutorials, do you take mentorship separately? Yes, but I do have very few available spots, a hint. And it's like a doctor. Well, not like a doctor, but I charge by the hour. So if you want, you can send me an email. I've shared my email before, but I'll share it again. It's Critical Hit Academy at gmail.com. Let me show you. It's this one right here. So you can shoot me an email with the things that you want to learn and stuff, and we can create a study plan, like a lesson plan, and I can give you a quote on how much that's gonna be. That's like private mentoring. I do that. I do that. Can you make a tutorial on Udemy's workflow to Substance? It would be helpful. Yes, I think I've done it before, but I'll do one more because I actually want to redo a character that I had a couple years ago, and I think that would be a great one to do so. See you later, Roma. See you later. Arian, Abraham, I need some help with my new environment. Please give me some ideas. Please check your email. Let's take a look at that. We'll quickly take a look at Arian's email. Okay. I think what you might be missing here, my friend, is some more organic stuff. I would add some tarps or cloths or some sort of flowy thing, because everything looks very hard surfacey, right? There's a lot of hard surfacey stuff. I know this little robot. I've seen him before. But yeah, you can. I would probably add that. I would probably add some more organic stuff to the whole scene. I know there's a couple of characters, but I mean organic on the objects, like smoke. Well, smoke's not. We're not there yet, but plants again, like tarps or cloths. I think that might be a good idea for that. So let's very quickly texture this guy. I'm gonna do a very simple texture. I'm gonna just do this stylized wood barrier. I'm gonna rotate this 90 degrees. And I'm gonna increase the tiling a little bit. Let's do 3 tiles. That looks interesting. And then I did download the other one, the gigantic tree trunk. Let's import this. And if we get it here, as you can see, that gives us a way more realistic look. I'm gonna change the options to triplanar mapping from UV projection to triplanar projection. What that will do is it will soften things up a little bit. I'm gonna change this to 3. I'm probably gonna rotate this so it follows more along the lines. There we go. So what I want from this guy is not really the color. So I'm gonna go to the options here, and I'm gonna remove the color. I just want the normal map, like the texture thingy. And then we can bring in this stylized wood again. And as you can see, we grab the best of both worlds. So this is a way in which we can combine this sort of things. I'm actually gonna leave this in UV projection. We can combine the best of both worlds and get this. I'm gonna go to normal, and I'm gonna reduce the amount of normal that we have on this guy. So I do want to have a little bit of high frequency detail, but not as much. As you can see, we get this very nice looking effect. Now let's just add some shadows and lights. So I'm gonna start with a dark color, only color, black mask generator. We're gonna do a dirt generator. There we go. It's great. I might increase the dirt a little bit, and then on the color, I'm gonna change this to overlay and lower the intensity like that. I'm gonna then do a metal edgeware. So I'm gonna go color, sample that sort of like light color that we have right there, make it a little bit lighter. Right click, add a generator. I'm gonna add a metal edgeware. Sorry, add a black mask first, and add a generator, and we're gonna add a metal edgeware. It's gonna like sharpen up some of the elements right there. Please note it down, that idea, otherwise you will forget. Creating a house. I'll write it down. I believe you, because I do forget things. Here, I'm gonna write all of the options. So it's a Judims for substance was one of the suggestions for a small video, and then for a full course like VR experience, that's another one. Will there be a hero prop tutorial for games in future? I know there's only one by Emil Sliggers. Let me add that. Hero prop. Do you mean like a gun or like a sword, or any specific example, Mert? Sonny says, I need some help. Like, what should I add, for instance, some corners? Yeah, Arian, what I said, like the organic stuff, I think will be a really good stuff. Lubomir Divdiak says, hi Brian, how can I be better in my job? I'm a student and work one more year like freelancer archivist. I'm doing really well, but I have feeling like I don't do progress. How to level up? That's a complicated question, but usually when people say that they feel stuck, and that happens very, very frequently, is because you are in a position in your learning curve where you are not challenging yourself. So you know, like we all know what parts we're weak at. It could be anatomy, it could be forms, it could be retopology. So you need to grab one project and say, during this month, I'm gonna focus on this one project and I'm gonna make it the best the best I can, and that's gonna allow you to jump through that hurdle. I think that would be the best advice that I can give you there. I'm gonna show you another technique here. I'm gonna add a black mask, and then I'm gonna add a generator, and we're gonna use a light generator. Then I'm gonna bring the light to the other side like this, so it looks like the light is coming from the top like this, and then we're gonna invert this. So now it's coming from the bottom. See that? So we have shadow on the bottom part of the tree, and that's gonna give us a lot of, especially if you don't have any light, it's still gonna make it look really, really, really strong because you have this sort of stuff. Of course, if we have light, it's gonna look a little bit better. And we're gonna do the exact same thing. I'm just gonna duplicate this guy, change the light to a light, like a white light, and change the filter so that it's on the other side like this. And this is gonna be on linear dodge with a really low intensity. There we go. It's gonna be like a little sand or dust. And we need to make it a little bit orangier. There we go. It's kind of like adding a highlight. And that's it. With this, we have a very, very usable tree instead of the experience that I was saying we were gonna be doing. And we did this in 1 hour. We were able to bring this from Maya all the way to ZBrush and back into Substance Painter. So now we just export this and this is ready for games. And even we don't have any lights, like look at this, the colors that we have right here. I know it's not hand painted per se, but it gives us this sort of like stylized look, which is what I'm going for. So let's answer some questions before we close today's stream. Let's take a look. Abraham, cheers from Israel. Is there a plan for ZBrush 2023? Oh, that's a big question, Guy Dahan. So I personally am not a fan of what Maxon did for 2023. I don't think there's enough tools to justify the price increase. It's a huge price increase. The license now for 2023, if you're an old-time ZBrush user, is I think like $700. I don't know, man. I'm not sure if we're gonna have one. If Nalin says that we might need to do one, we'll probably do one, but there's not a lot of tools. The most important things that they changed were the rendering, which I still think you can get better renders if you bring them into ZBrush or into Maya, sorry, or even Marmoset. And they added like a couple of extra little tools here and there, so I'm not sure about that one. Please video on 3D modeling pipeline, says Adits. Yeah, we've done so many of those, my friend, but if there's a specific object you would like me to model, we can do that. Bishal, yes, we're gonna be doing a tutorial on Udemy workflow. We'll do that. We'll do that this week. 3D tracking, let me add that. 3D tracking. I'm not a compositor, so I don't do a lot of 3D tracking, but let's see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. Dots says this is one of the pipelines. Yeah, we just saw one of the pipelines. First, it says, I'm still don't break into the game industry. I have a degree in architecture, but I'm pro in Maya, Blender, System X, and I'm doing a good portfolio for GameSmart. Do you think I have a shot? Yes, yes. Again, it all depends on where you are in the world, how strong your portfolio is, how big the industry is where you are. That kind of stuff. It's going to be really important to determine how easy it's going to be. But one of the best things I could or one of the best suggestions I could give you, my friend, is just get your name out there. Just send emails, send letters to the studios and be like, hey, I'm a freelancer, this is what I do you have any available positions? You might get, if you send 100 letters, you might get 99 rejections, right? But you might get one that says, hey, you know what, yeah, we have something, would you be interested? And you just take that, and even if it doesn't pay as well at first, that's your job, like your leg into the industry, like your foot in the industry. So you grab that one and then you start building from there. That's one way you can do it. First says, I'm gonna release 2 more environments in this week. Nice. Speed tree is awesome. Yeah, speed tree is really cool. Can we get guide for hand painted texturing for beginners? Hand painted texturing for beginners. Added. Do you mean for like a short video or like a full premium tutorial? Let me know in the comments. You keep spamming, but do you check this channel? Yeah, Edits, we have a lot of videos on the channel, like a lot. I've been doing this for almost 2 years, and there's so many like modeling tutorials, texturing tutorials, sculpting tutorials. There's a little bit of everything. So yeah, just check the channel, man. Subscribe, like, that helps, of course. Gonna jump into full screen. There we go. My camera is really high. I don't know what happened there. Abraham, can game asset workflows use displacement maps? Technically, yes. It's not the most performance. It's not gonna be the best performance, but technically, yes, you can use displacement maps. They're usually called height maps in games. It's pretty much the same thing, but yes, you can use them. Usually not for characters. It's more for like environments. But yes, they can be used. Anything complex would be great for the hero prop tutorial that I asked for. Also, if you can cover trim sheet textures, trim sheets. I did a very basic trim sheet videos a couple of months ago. You can look it on the channel, but I'll do another one, like a more advanced one, trim sheet tutorial. Trim sheets, they're really efficient. I haven't used them as much on my work though. That's why I don't do them. Yeah, normal map is better. It's more efficient, but it won't change the silhouette. So that's why displacement and heights are a little bit more, like, they're stronger options because they will change the silhouette, and that gives you a more interesting asset. Should I buy Substance Painter's Steam version or Adobe Subs version? It depends. If you know that the tools that the Steam version has are the ones that you need, and you're not going to be using any of the new tools, then that's probably the most cost-effective choice, to just grab that specific version and use that one. However, if you want to use all of the new tools that are coming out and you want to have access to the 3D assets library, which is really good, and you can afford it, I do suggest the subscription. It's worked really well for me. So it might for you, but I do know that it's an extra like cost that you need to do every single month. I don't think it's that much. I think it was like $25 a month or something like that. So it's not that much, but it is a cost. Paras Sankpal asks, how much time does it take to learn ZBrush, and how long does it take to become good in sculpting? I would say to learn ZBrush, you can probably learn the basics of ZBrush in like a month. We have a couple of courses. Give me 1 second. So for those of you guys that were not at the beginning of the stream, we do have this promotion going on right now with in Udemy. You can get any of the Udemy courses for with 90% the discount, and in your case, Paras, you can get the complete guide to ZBrush 2022 for like $10, and it's gonna be a great tool. It's a great tool to learn ZBrush. It's 12 hours. If you do 1 hour every day, you're gonna be learning ZBrush in half a month. So I think it's a good option. But it takes time. I've been using ZBrush for 11 years, so it definitely takes time to get really good at it. One more thing, I want to thank you for all the content. I learned a lot with you. You're welcome, First. You are welcome. You are welcome. Feels like the stream is like delayed or something. I have like a 1 minute delay or something like that. Oh no. Let's see. Can't you buy your own luxury house or a car? Just asking. Well, if you are good and you know how to move yourself in this world, then yeah, you can definitely get a house. You can definitely make a really decent living out of this career. Like, I can guarantee that it is a decent living if you are one of the good artists. You don't need to be one of the best, but if you're one of the good artists, you can definitely make a good living out of the whole thing. Did it not change? I thought it had changed. It did change. Okay, so the stream is a little bit slower, guys. Give me some time. Yeah, 3D advertising is one of those things that really has there's a lot of money going on there, so it's a great option. When will we be coming Japanese environment series video? We'll be doing that on, I think it's gonna be back on Thursday, because tomorrow we're gonna do the character, and then Wednesday I wanna do the Udems, and then Thursday we're gonna do the Japanese one, and we'll probably do it this weekend as well. Hey man, I love your videos and I learned portfolio review and portfolio. I'm in game art school in Netherlands and I'm almost finishing school, but I need a tutor to help me with my graduation. Do you think you can help me from time to time and give me some feedback and also attend my defense? I'm not sure I would be able to attend the defense all the way in the Netherlands, but if you need any help, yeah, shoot me an email here at this guy. Shoot me an email at criticalhitacademy@gmail.com with your portfolio, and I can give you some specific reviews. If you want mentorship, I do offer mentorship as part of my work. They're like 1 hour or 2 hour sessions, and we can talk about a lot of stuff. Those, of course, are extra charge, but if you want to, I can definitely give you a quick feedback on your portfolio. Smooth sculpting for beginners in ZBrush. We've done that, edits. We have done that. Pika, I'm a new Maya animator and just get my job. What do you think is Maya will be the future for animators, or should I learn new game engines like Unreal to update myself? Any tips in future as a 3D animator? Oh, that's a great question, Pika. So I do think Unreal Engine is going to be a huge tool. A lot of things are going to real-time rendering, and Unreal is definitely the way to go. It's the main tool that we're using for that. So I would suggest you do learn Unreal, especially how to transfer the animations that you do inside of Maya to Unreal so that you can render them in Unreal. I don't think you need to learn how to animate inside of Unreal yet, but it might not be a bad idea to get a general like overview of the whole thing. Oh, that's great, Dots. Yeah, if I can attend it online, then yeah, that sounds interesting. Well, that's it, guys. I need to cut the stream now because we are gonna go into a meeting over here in the studio to check all of the pending stuff and all the things that we need to do. So thank you very much to everyone who was part of this stream. I had a great time, and hopefully you did as well. Remember, you can check all of our live streams inside of our live section in the channel. So just click on Nextut, go into live, not videos, live, and all of the information is going to be there. Also, remember that we have 5 days of 90% off for all of our Nextut courses, the ones that you're seeing here on the screen. And yeah, that's pretty much it, my friends. We'll have one more live stream. We're having this Monday live streams. I'm trying to make them a permanent thing. So next Monday we'll have another live stream, same time, 9 a.m. Mexico time, 9 p.m. India time, so that we can chat and hang around. And yeah, make sure to stay subscribed to the channel. If you click the little bell icon, that also really helps the channel, by the way. If you subscribe and click the bell icon so that you get the notification, it really pushes up on the charts and we can beat the algorithm. So if you want to help me with that, that would be great. And I'll see you back tomorrow with a video about the little character that we're doing. Okay, so thank you very much, my friends, and have a great day, night, evening, wherever you are.